Ladies and gentlemen, the Adult Baby Show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Adult Babies Podcast, episode 113. I am B.
I'm Chick.
And I'm Chris.
And we got ourselves a very special guest, another friend from Farmingdale, and he is a budding actor, the Velocipaster himself, Greg Cohan.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Thanks for coming
in
on.
the house.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
We've actually been
pleasure,
trying to get you on for a while now, but, you know, it's been tough because you moved to California now, right?
I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles, but we're all kind of in the same boat here, wherever we are.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're all sitting at home doing nothing. So what better time than to spend some time with my boys from Farmingdale?
Yes.
Greg, I think you were the first guest that Chick had requested as a guest. Going back to the first few episodes.
Yeah. So this is almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah,
Probably
2 years
Wow.
ago, your name was thrown around, and for whatever reason, it never happened. And finally, it took a pandemic to get you on, and that's good things happen, I guess, right?
Good.
Well, you know
good
what it
thing.
was?
Silver lining.
There's a
I
silver
didn't
line.
even know you moved out of New York when you did.
Hmm.
I was probably
Yeah.
like 6 months before I realized you were out of New York.
It's about that time. Yeah. I've been here a year and a half.
Wow. So
Yeah.
let's get into that. What made you make the move? Is it for the acting or weather?
So I was acting in New York for for when I first started. I was working a day job that I was making a lot of money at, but I wasn't loving, and I was moonlighting as an actor. So I was building my career, building my craft, taking classes every night, running out to rehearsals and whatever I could get my hands on. I quit my job in the city in 2013.
I admire that day. I really do.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Because it was
that.
a good job, right? I don't remember exactly, but I
Yeah.
remember you did a good job. And
Yeah, man. I had a cushy 6-figure sales job, being a top national sales executive in the billboard business. And it was awesome, man. It was I'm really grateful for that job because I worked with a lot of great people. I learned a lot about business and acumen and things like that. But it was also motivation to kind of get out and do the things that I love to do. So it just made me hustle a little bit more. I wasn't focused on relationships or anything like that. It was just make money, pay rent, and act. I also wasn't looking to ask my parents for money for things that I wanted to do. I didn't go to school for acting. I acted in college and stuff, but I didn't want to quit my job and with my hands out.
Yeah, no, I don't blame.
Looking for a handout. So yeah, I quit my job and I started working as an actor full time. And I wasn't making any money to start. I was getting paid on some gigs. I was doing kids television shows, and I started doing voiceover. But then I started picking up steam. And at the same time, I had met my wife now, Corey. We were living in Brooklyn together, and we were together for 2 years. We got engaged in California, actually. We were in Napa, and we got engaged, and she was like, okay, now I want to move to California. I was like, what? Okay. Yeah.
You guys did a
She's-
wedding by didn't you get married in the desert or?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, at that point in my career, I was just starting to build up TV credits and just starting to pick up steam in New York. And I was like, oh man, for a while, it took a while. I was like, I want to be a New York actor. This is,
Yeah.
But I just got stuck in that. And then I started to come out to LA, visiting friends, and then taking classes and workshops out here. And I was like, you know what, we could do this. And who the fuck am I? Can I curse on this podcast?
Yes, you can say whatever.
Okay. Who the fuck am I to hold her back from, things she wants to do? And I was just because and I can work out here as well. So
Yeah.
we committed to it. We didn't re-sign our lease in Brooklyn. And we were all right, so we're going to move at the end of September 2018.
Okay.
We planned a wedding in Joshua Tree, California.
That was going to say,
the
it was
desert.
I remember that now.
In October of 2018. So we were let's move in September, move into a new apartment, and then get married and everyone come out for the wedding. And we did it, and we've been here since, and we've been doing it, and it's been great. I've been working out here, and the movie came out like right after we moved.
I love the Velocipaster, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah,
I was lucky
thank you
enough
so
to
much.
see that cool little theater when you came out to do one of the releases out in New York, and
Yeah,
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, I love those cult classic type movies, so I mean, it was right up my alley. But you were
man.
fantastic in it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Is
I'm
there
not-
a way to stream that now? Is it out? Like how
Yeah.
could we see that?
Yeah, so that was one of like the first feature films I did ever. Like I shot that while I was in New York. It was like shortly, maybe a little less than, no, it was a couple years after I quit my job. But yeah, it took some time to, make, as movies do. We shot it in like 2 to 3 weeks.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Yeah, but then like, we did some festivals, and then like got some attention from some distribution companies, and then sold it to a distribution company. And we released it last year in August. And it's now streaming on Amazon Prime Video on a site called Tubi, I believe, which is
Yes, Tubi's another streaming site that I have that as well. It doesn't have as much stuff as like Amazon Prime. Yeah, it's a new and up and coming streaming service.
Tubi helps us. Tubi helps us a little bit more internationally, because like we've screened in like 16, 17 countries right now.
Wow.
So, and you can also buy the DVD or Blu-ray on Amazon as well.
Now, how is watching it? Do they dub it, or do they put it in like subtitles when you're in?
There's subtitles. There's subtitles. Yeah.
Cool.
No.
I would love to see you get dubbed over, though. That would just be
That would be
fucking
great.
Yeah,
terrible.
right.
You
That
want
would be
man,
fun.
you're like
That
watching
would be fun.
yourself with a different voice.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
When
So
did
now,
you
no, go.
started acting in college, or like was this a thing you did later in life?
So I did I did one play in middle school at Howard.
Hey, I thought you did a little bit in like high school or something, maybe.
I did one play in middle school because I was like chasing a girl that I wanted to date.
Isn't that how it starts
And
for everybody?
That's how, yeah. And then
That's
she
how
was
it
like,
starts.
come audition for the musical. And I was like, all right. I did it. I could sing. I got to the callbacks, but they gave it to Keith Corrigan, to someone else. Yeah. Fellow North Sider, Brendan.
North Side, baby. North
There you
Side in the house.
And then after that, I was like, screw this. I'm just going to stick to sports, and played football and lacrosse all through high school. And then when I got to college, I played lacrosse in college. There were 2 guys on my lacrosse team. One of them was a musician, and he was like, I was like goofing around in the locker room, and I could sing. And he was like, yo, you can sing. We got to play parties at college. We got to play like, we'll do like covers of like Bon Jovi and shit.
Yeah.
So I sang in bands. I sang in a band in college, a couple parties.
That's amazing. I never knew you could sing.
Yeah, I can carry a
you take
tune.
lessons, or
No, I just like I sung in high school, or I sang in chorus in high school for a little bit, and I sung all throughout, middle school, and it was just something I could do, and it was more about like not being afraid of like making an ass of yourself more than anything.
You've never been like that, though. You've always been.
Like what?
As long as I've known you, I don't want to call you a clown.
Yeah.
I would never call you a clown, but you were always you just were always very, you were funny.
You had a personality. You
had a very good personality for as long as I've known you. And I used to love your Halloween costumes, is one thing I remember.
Oh, yeah.
More specifically, the Heisman was my favorite.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy. Yeah, I was really big into Halloween, and I think that was like, I spent so much creative energy on Halloween because like I had all of this stuff like built inside of me, and I was like screaming to get out. And I would take it out playing sports and take any like teen angst and aggression out. What I really wanted to do was like get up on stage and sing and play and dance, and like I remember I was injured in lacrosse one year for like a good month, and it was like right when Star Wars was starting to come back out, like the the prequels
The
and
remake. Okay, yeah, the
like
remakes.
Revenge of the Sith and stuff like that. And I choreographed like a really badass lightsaber scene with lacrosse sticks. Me and Sean Sweeney and
Dude, that's
Part
awesome.
Ref and crew were
that's
like, "You're an idiot. What are you doing?" Yeah, but nah, man. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I could sing. And in college, I got attention from like singing at parties, and then one of the other guys on my team was like, "You should come." He was a theater major, and he was directing plays, and he was like, "You should come audition for this play. I got a part for you." And I auditioned, and he put me in his play, and I was not bad, you know. It was probably sucked if I look back at it now, but
Right.
the theater guys liked me, and they kind of welcomed me into that community. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe I could do this too. I didn't know what I was going to school for, like business management.
I was gonna say, you do what everybody does. You go for business and kind of figure it out. Yeah.
I wasn't like, I didn't even think about being like a theater major. I was kind of a little too far along to do that. And I had no one in my life that was like, that like worked as an actor. I didn't even think of that as like a career.
Well, I was
thought
gonna
you
say
just,
it, with the group of
I didn't-
friends, you know, my brother and them being included, they're not the ones to really promote acting and to go pursue your dreams like that.
No, but no, like I had no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
I had no one in my life, whether it was my family or, there was like one cousin, one of my mom's cousins who like left when he was a kid and moved to California and like was a producer. And we always like talked about him, and it was just like this distant person. But like I've actually met up with him since he'd been out here. He worked on, he produced the show Cops, like the original Bad Boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he worked on that show. Remember that show Dirty Jobs with Mike Will?
Yes.
He
Yep.
like
I do know that.
he was one of the people that like started that show and worked on it for however many years. And now he lives in Culver City and, produces and writes, and like he's the closest person in my family that I know that is like living that, entertainment lifestyle. Yeah.
It seems like it kept coming back to you, like all these situations. It's like this is what you were meant to do, and it
Always.
eventually it finds you, and you're able to. Was that the first time you ever performed in college, like a live performance?
So I did the role I didn't get in middle school.
Right.
I was still in the play, but I was like
still were, okay.
I was like friend number 3, that had that like sang in the chorus, and but in college was the first time I was like one of the leads on stage. And yeah, so that was kind of terrifying. It was also like a little nerve-wracking to like have some of my lacrosse teammates come to the play, and like,
Well, yeah, you're putting yourself out there.
Yeah,
Throwing yourself out there, man. Like that's
exactly. They were all really supportive, and it was a lot of fun, man. And then I got out of college, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, all right, I guess I get a job. I worked at BK. I worked at BK. So I worked at BK Sweeney's for a while, and like, I worked. Yep, I got hooked up with a job as a bar back there. We made a great money. Like
I was gonna say, you made good money in our industry. It's just cash.
He killed it there. Yeah, he killed it there. But it can be a tough life. Like you're working late.
Yeah.
Like there were a couple holidays I had to work.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it pays the bills.
And for some reason, I like, my parents helped me go to college and like paid for me to go to college, and I felt like I needed to get like that big boy city job.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get that.
No, I mean it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you that.
No, I know.
So I did that, and I went out and got that job, and I worked there for a year, and then I was like trying to get something more creative, and every time I like tried to inch my way out, they offered me more opportunities. It was almost like the universe was saying, either you're not ready, or like, how committed are you? What are you willing to sacrifice? Because there was a time like in the middle of like when I was really starting to come up at that job, I was like leaving work to go like on sales calls, but they were like auditions and like voice lessons. I was at a voice lesson, like doing like scales and like working on my voice and singing and stuff like that. just for an hour, you know, I like cut out for an hour. It's just like my lunch hour. But like my boss called and I was like, he knows where I am. And he called to let me know, like I had won an account that I was like in the running for, and it was like a huge national account, and it just like tripled my income. And I was like, instead of being like, yes, I was like panicking, like, oh my God, all this responsibility. I'm never going to be able to get out of this job, you know?
Yeah. It stuck you back in. And it's also like money or passion.
Yeah.
And yeah, your passion could lead to more money eventually, but there's something to be said about being happy with what you're doing. And if you find yourself trying to get into that entertainment industry or just do something that you enjoy, it's tough to leave a good job to do it, though.
Yeah, can you imagine having a job that pays well, but then you also have a talent that also could pay well, and you're like, what? Like we can't even get one of those, and you got like, let me see which direction I'll go. It's unbelievable. Good for you.
Well, the acting thing is like it's up and down, man. There are times where you could be flourishing, and then there are times where you could be broke. It's a matter, and I'm again, I always say that I'm grateful for that job that I had, because it gave me a lot of money to like cash my chips in with, and I still have a lot of that money saved up. It's just that, like, you know, you got to find a way. You can be acting until you're 80. You know, you have to find a way to sustain and to like just stay in it, because the people who make it and the people who are passionate about it, you can be as passionate about it as you want and love it as much as you want. But like, if you can't stay, you got to pay bills and you got to live a lot. You got to live a life that is like healthy and like you can't be broke. That is not good for your
well-being,
just like your mental state, for everything, man.
Greg, the day after you quit your job and you're like, I'm going all the way. Did you have a moment of like, holy shit, I made a mistake? Or was it like, head down, I'm going for this, leaving it all behind?
It took a little time, man. I wish I could say that like I was just like gung ho right away. But it took a little time to transition out of that like comfort, because I was in like a very kind of a comfortable job at a very young age. I wasn't 30. I wasn't like, I had like maybe just started to turn 30, maybe late 20s and like just turned 30. But I was like, oh yeah, I just turned 30, right?
Now I forget, did you say you met your wife before you left your job or after?
Before I left my job.
Did she help you with that? Like, support-wise?
She was super supportive in like, you know, we met in, I was in like a 2-year acting program in the city that I was going to after work and on the weekends, and we met there. So she was also pursuing acting at the same time. She still acts, but more on like independent projects that we produce and create on our own. Yeah. She's not like doing the audition thing, which can be a slog.
That's gotta be.
Yeah, it is. And like that's what it was for me. It was kind of a transition out of that like cushy day job lifestyle into like, oh shit, like money's not coming in every 2 weeks. I'm not getting big commission checks. I need to figure out, I need to get a part-time gig, and I need to like have some structure in my life, because when you're working from home, whether you're like working part-time or freelancing for a company, it's really easy to like not do shit. And like the day goes by and like, you know, you got to have some structure.
Is that where the CrossFit stuff came in? Didn't you start doing CrossFit?
Yeah. So I left my job, and I got approached by a company, through friend of a friend, a company in the film, in the crowdfunding business for films, right? Okay. So it was like if you're familiar with like Kickstarter and Indiegogo, there's a company called Seed and Spark, and they are just for independent films, and they are a crowdfunding and distribution site. They help independent filmmakers raise financing for their movies, build an audience, and then show it to that audience and get it distributed to a wide audience.
That's awesome.
they needed someone to help with like marketing and advertising and paid partnerships and stuff like that with like film festivals. And I was like, yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah, let me do that. I'll help you. I wasn't getting paid much, but it was a startup company. They were paying me some, and like they were based in Brooklyn. But the day I started, they were like, we're moving to Los Angeles. Do you want to just like be, yeah. I was like, fuck. They were like, do you just want to be our New York office until you're ready to move out to Los Angeles? I was like, yeah, sure. At the time I was like, I have no plans to move out to California, but like, I'll be your New York hub.
Wow.
And so I did that. And so that's where the CrossFit thing came in. I was like,
okay.
I didn't want to spend all my money on like a gym membership. So I started going to a CrossFit gym that it was like a couple $100 a month, right? And I was like, fuck, this is kind of expensive, but I really like it. And then a front desk job opened up that was like, so because this company I was working for was on the West Coast, they weren't at the office until noon our time on the East Coast.
You had something to do during the morning.
So I was like, cool, I can go to this gym, open the gym, ride my bicycle there, open the gym 2 days a week from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., work out at 10, and then be like ready to work on their time until when they're ready. And I got a free gym membership out of it. So
that's smart man. That's the business part of you. Turn it into they pay you to work out now.
Yeah. So then I was there for a couple years, and like they really liked me, and they have an incredible community built there at CrossFit South Brooklyn, and they had asked if they were hosting a level 1 certification course, which is expensive. And they were offering to like, if anyone was interested, if they wanted to get their certifications. And I was like, yeah, I'll get that. So I got that certification. They hooked me up, and I've been coaching CrossFit ever since. It's like a part-time job. It's fucking great.
That's perfect for you. And I feel like that also helps you with your discipline, just keeping busy every day.
Oh yeah, it gives me structure, man. I coached, like right now we're in a pandemic, but I'm at a gym here in Los Angeles at a really great gym that has still been doing the Zoom classes. So I've been coaching Zoom classes a couple times a week. I coached 3 this morning, and I had a personal training client that's actually on the East Coast.
Wow.
That, I'm just able to do from home, keep it busy.
You're still freelancing, doing, outside the act. You really are. You're like a Renaissance man. You're doing, you got a little everything.
I've embraced that. Yeah, of course I'd love to be like acting full time and be like, yeah, I'll do a movie here and a movie there. But like, I know where I'm at. And like, I know that you have to find a way to sustain, and like, you have to work and, create time to create your art, and time is money. So you just got to make money to create time. But like I've been doing really well in voiceover as well, so that's been paying really well.
How is voiceover work? Is that fun?
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to ask. I saw you did voiceover for Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was that like, man? Like, what's it like doing voiceover for a video game?
So that was rad. So I started doing voiceover because one of the first gigs I ever did was a children's television show on Nick Jr. called Team Umizoomi. Anyone who's got like anyone who's my age that has kids now, or our age that has kids now, I can't tell you how many times I get like texts of screenshots of me on Team Umizoomi. It's like a kids TV show for like 3 to 5 year olds, where I was like working in front of a green screen, talking to like little green golf balls, like they're animated characters. And I did 2 episodes of that, and I was live in person, so I'm like me interacting with the animation. And one of the directors was like, "You got a good voice, man. You should get into voiceover." And I was like, "I don't even know what that is. What is that?" And they were like, "Here's someone who teaches voiceover classes in New York." And I went and took that person's class. His name is Roger Becker. We met like once a week for 6 weeks. And we just like got in the booth and did reps on commercial copy. And like Dunkin' Donuts, radio commercials and TV.
You'd be the guy in the back reading the ad as they're showing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the last class, he emailed me and was like, "Hey, there's a a commercial I'm casting that you'd be good for. You want to come in and read for it? And I was like, yeah, I did. And I booked it. It was a Hot Wheels commercial. And like, apparently I just like let it rip, you know, and like made I was like, how would like a 5-year-old kid want like an adult cool guy voice to sound? And it was just like, yeah, Hot Wheels all the way. Get your parents' permission before you go online. Yeah. You know?
That's it. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
So like I did a couple of those commercials. I got an agent because of that. So then they started sending me out on voiceover stuff. And then I started to like pick up some steam, and I was like, you know, maybe I should like get a better agent.
You had to fire
The guy that I was I had to fire an agent with my first year.
Time. All right.
So like, well, there was just a few miscommunications, and I was like, I need someone that has a little bit more clout. This guy was kind of like just starting out. I was just doing non-union gigs, meaning like gigs outside of SAG.
By the way, I'm sorry. Did you use that word when you fired him? Did you say, I just need somebody with a little more clout? Because that's going to get fired from a job.
Yeah, he loved that. He loved that.
He
was
said,
like,
I don't have enough clout. I don't even know what clout means. All right.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
go back. I'm
He
sorry.
was like, who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
But, you know, you don't get what you don't ask for. So you know, if you need something, you need it.
Yeah, man. And so I did. I found a new agent, a company called Stewart Talent in New York. I signed with their voiceover department, and I wasn't union at the time. And trust me, this is all leading up to my Red Dead Redemption stuff. I was doing non-union gigs, and there are way more non-union gigs out there than there are union gigs, right?
Do they hang up rats at non-union film gigs?
No.
I'm just
not
curious.
like that.
I wasn't sure.
But it's the same thing. Like if you're a union actor, if you're a SAG actor doing non-union gigs, you're a scab. And like they like encourage you to, you know, for lack of a better term, rat people out who are doing that. And you really shouldn't. So like I was doing the non-union gigs. I wasn't a SAG actor. But and like with voiceover, man, it's so easy to audition because like if you have a mic and a setup at home, you could really just like do it underneath a comforter or something, as long as it sounds good, or in your car or wherever it sounds good.
Great.
And just send it in.
Nowhere.
Exactly.
You got this, man.
And just send it in over email, and you know, that's your audition. But where was I going?
Red
Dead Redemption.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, getting back to that. It was just I was auditioning like 100 times a day, to the point where there was a year where I didn't book like any voiceover gigs. I'm auditioning so many, not 100 times a day, like 100 times before you book a gig. And I had like 2 union waivers where I did jobs that are like, they'll hire a non-union actor for a union job. And then they tell you not to join the union until they make you join the union, until like you're doing a union job where you have to pay your union dues in order to on this job. And that was the Red Dead gig that like I just kept taking swings, and that was they had me do a monologue. Game too. Yeah, it was a huge game. It was like I signed a ton of NDAs. They had me do a monologue in my regular accent, which is like a little New York. I mean, when I'm out here, everyone thinks I'm like, I sound like you.
Yeah,
no,
do they make you lose it?
You have to like go full Western on that?
So I did my regular accent, which comes out as New York, and then they were like, do something like Southern or Western. And my wife was from South Carolina, and like I can slip in and out of accents pretty easily. So I did that, and they booked me on it. And they booked a ton of actors on that because there's so many
voiceovers
to interact. Yeah, but it was so fucking fun. Their office was really cool. I didn't even know really what it was because it was like code named. And then when I got there, I was like, oh shit, this is fucking Red Dead. This is the next one.
Red Dead.
Yeah, and
That's so
I'm about to like start taking photos, and they're like, okay, you're gonna have to leave your phone here. You're gonna have to like sign 8 pages of NDAs. Don't take any pictures. Don't tell anyone you're here. I was like, holy shit, okay. And then they put me in the booth. They put like a headset on me to read my face, my facial expressions. And then I wouldn't say I was like unprepared, but I was like my voice was warmed up, but I didn't know what I was going to be reading. And they were like, okay, so here's the character you are. You are a sheriff in one of these side towns that is a little crooked and tries to get, while he does like things that are crooked, he is really just trying to get the respect that no one is giving him. And I was like, that's fucking awesome.
All right.
So it went from little things to like saying like little like side conversations where like we can be like in here doing things shy to the point where like, okay, so they were like, you be doing that, and they're like, okay, now you're behind a stagecoach in the middle of a gunfight, and you need to like yell to them, you better reload, motherfucker. It's like going from like 0 to 90 like
Dude,
that.
you get, like,
and like
so much character development in that. That's awesome.
it was so fun. It was so fun. And like I've been doing voiceover. I'm not gonna say I'm a veteran, but I've been doing enough of it to know that like if you're not sweating and panting in the booth especially for like the character stuff in the video games and like,
you're not putting in your full
animation, you're not doing it. It's like, you know, I got a booth in my house here. I got a closet that I ripped out and like, you know, put sound foam and set it up to a proper booth. And I know when I'm onto something and when I'm like, I got to step out of here, I'm sweating my balls off,
Wow.
you know? Yeah.
How good does it feel to get booked, though? I would imagine that's got to be one of it's like a very good feeling. Because you like you said, you interview or, you know, try out for so much shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like the voiceover auditions. It's like every 100 I do, I get booked on something.
Yeah.
Luckily I had before I left New York, the year leading up to me leaving, I booked a radio spot where I was the announcer and legal reader for AT&T Radio. So like all of their radio commercials, I was the guy that was like, your home is only as smart as your internet. And like coming to an AT&T store and like, you know, saying the announcer, like the tagline, and then reading like 10 seconds of fast legal copy. So I got like really good at reading speed legal.
Is that
so
like the thing at the end of a commercial? It's like, hey, well,
yeah, exactly.
I
Exactly.
always just hit the fast forward button just to.
No, I mean, rarely. They don't do that all the time. It's like, if you can do, you know, this much legal copy in 13 seconds in one breath, then like, yeah, and that's what I go in there doing. I'm like, I want to keep this job. And I've been doing that now for almost 2.5 years.
Do you just like drive around in your car and practice by just trying to speak really fast in under 13 seconds? How do you
Yeah.
approach that job?
Yo, I mean, all the voice training I did when I was leaving my job to go on sales calls and taking voice lessons and doing, I mean, every time I did an acting class, we would spend the first 30 minutes warming up our mouths and our voices doing fucking tongue twisters. And like, I loved being good at tongue twisters, you know? And like,
that's actually, I see, that's funny that they make you do that. That gives you like a skill that you wouldn't even think to get.
That's essentially what it is like, I'm getting paid to do tongue twisters. I'll do that all day, because like that, if I didn't have those gigs, I wouldn't have been able to move out to California. I wouldn't have been able to get married in Joshua Tree. I've been like, I live in a home that is fucking nice and like in a nice neighborhood, and like we love it here, and it's been pretty awesome.
I was gonna say, I mean, outside looking in, you do seem to have a very fulfilled life, I should say.
And like, you
seem
know,
very
we're
happy
always
with what you're doing.
Yeah, dude. And like, look, yes. And
it's not easy, but it looks fun.
The bookings and like being in the Velocipaster and being on TV and like things like that, all those things are fucking awesome. And they help. And like, to answer your question from earlier, it feels amazing to get like the call that are like, out of the 2,000 people that submitted for this, you are the guy.
Yeah.
It's like, even if it's just like one line on a TV show, it feels fucking amazing. But man, to be honest, like, I mean, any actor can can relate to this. The work comes from like when you're not getting those calls and you're like still happy. Like, what are you doing to like still be happy? Because if you're just relying on that one phone call every however many weeks or months or years, then like that's not the way to find happiness. You need to like, you know, be mindful. You need to keep working on your craft. You need to get satisfaction from just like going to acting class every Thursday night and like working on some scenes and still finding fun in that. Because if you can't find the fun in that, then you're like, you know,
you do all the cooking stuff. You're doing CrossFit.
Oh yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. You got a lot of other things going on besides just acting.
You're doing the right thing. Now, Greg, I gathered a few questions, adult baby style questions.
Talk to me.
Can I shoot those off to you?
Yeah, baby.
Now it's sort of like, you know, inside the actor's studio, but it's sort of inside the baby's crib. All right, that's how we're.
I love it.
All right.
I love it.
You can answer these any way you want.
All right.
They're mostly scenarios. All right. So here's the first scenario. You get a series on whatever network or streaming service that you want. It runs 10 years, solid 10 years. It's a huge success, okay? But it doesn't artistically satisfy you, okay? You're doing well. You're set up for 10 years. Figure, you know, like when Friends was great, but you don't love it, right? Or you get a role in a feature film and you win an Oscar. It's something you believe in, but you never work again after this. For whatever reason. But you win an Oscar and it's that one, and it's a one movie.
Which one? Which do I choose?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
That's a tough
I know.
question.
Listen, I'm not throwing softballs at you here.
That's tough.
That's a hard question.
10 years on a show you don't like, but the money's good, constant work, or one movie, an Oscar.
And I'm fulfilled?
And you love it. It's what you want. It'd
have to be the one, man. It'd have to be like the one. Like, who wants to do 10 years of something they don't like?
Right.
Well, that's like, would you rather be known for Mad About You or Saving Private Ryan?
Right.
Saving Private Ryan.
Hey, Mad About You was a good movie.
Who's mad? Is Mad About You Paul Reiser?
Paul
Is that?
Yeah, Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt.
They had a very good career after that as well.
But my point was, it was a decent show, but they didn't do much after that. It was just like a
Paul Reiser and Helen Hunt had very well. They're still doing very well.
They had good careers, but you get what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think I'd go. I think I'd go with the one.
All right.
I'll find other ways to make, like, if you're on a show for 10 years,
right.
I mean, granted, that would be fucking amazing and like probably make a lot of money, but
that goes back to the comfort thing.
Yeah, you can
eventually
make money.
It just becomes an office job that you hate.
Well, it's gotta
be
like,
it could, yeah. If
I don't know if you guys follow like The Walking Dead or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I gave up on that show, but I know that
it came back. I gave up on it. Had 2 rough years, and it's finishing off stronger than it.
So I gave up on it. So I haven't seen it recently, but I know that the main guy, like Rick, just quit the show.
Yeah.
Is that why they did that? He just quit?
Well, so he was like, I don't want to do it anymore, and so they killed him off. But they're kind of also like they killed him off half-assed, where he's still going to come back a little bit.
Well, they didn't kill him. They just sent him away, basically.
Right. So, but I am
hasn't seen the show. Sorry.
Like, after you've been doing The Walking Dead for 10 years, you must be like, dude, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, it's gotta happen.
I just want this. Like,
it depends. It kind of depends on the show, man. It's like, for example, like I have. My wife got me into Will and Grace, and like,
Will and Grace is a very well written show.
I never watched.
It is like multicam sitcom masterclass. It is so funny, and like they did their first 8 seasons.
I was gonna
say something
like
that, and then came back and did them when they like are 10 years older and in like their late 40s and 50s. And God, it is so fucking good. And they just look like the actors just look like they're having a fucking blast. Like when you see
I agree with you
actors,
on that.
when you see actors playing on stage, they're essentially playing on stage in front of a live audience, and you can see it on like Saturday Night Live and live shows when they are trying so hard not to laugh.
Oh yeah.
Like that's when I'm like,
They're the
dude,
best,
like
that's the best stuff to watch.
if you do that for 10 years, like that's a fucking I'll
Hey,
do
but
that
that's
all day.
not what you get with this show. This show stinks. You don't
This
like
show
it.
sucks.
All
This
right.
show mediocrity at its finest.
All right. All right. Question number 2. Again, this is a little magical stuff. All right. You have the ability to land any acting part from the last 10 years. So basically, in the last 10 years, a movie, a TV show, you're able to just replace the actor, and you have that role from the past 10 years. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have the ability to fast forward 10 years into the future and you get to pick any movie or television show that you want? Now, you could pick something that could flop in the future. You understand the question? I know it's a little
Yeah. Do I?
Anything you want, or 10 years into the future?
Oh,
I would be Jon Snow.
Nobody asked you.
I'm just
these are
saying.
hard. These are hard.
They're hard.
These are hard.
Listen, I come with the hot questions.
Yeah, these are good. I don't know, man. A lot of the shows I like are like, fuck, dude. What if you could like be on The Wire, or like, what if you could, what if you could be on like, what if you could be like Don Draper? Like that would be like, those are the types of things that I'm like,
Don Draper.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, I missed it, like, but
the thing is, you could be like, there's this script that I hear is coming out in 2 years, and I get the lead for it.
Yeah. And that's what, that's what we do. That's what we do out here in LA, is like, there's pilot seasons, like a real thing. And like, you get your hands on scripts, and like, sometimes you're like, yo, this is going to be the next thing. Or like, and sometimes it doesn't get, it doesn't even get picked up, it's like.
This is where this question to me is difficult, because if maybe there is something in pilot season that you absolutely love, but then for whatever reason it runs a season and it flops, and then you're looking back, you're like, I could have been Mad Men, I could have been John Hamm.
I know.
What do you choose, Greg?
Oh,
I love your face. What do you choose, Greg?
I know. I think I got to choose something from the past, man. I think I got to choose something from the past. Like, I would love to be fucking in what was it, Matthew Weiner, who did Sopranos and Mad Men.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to be in something like that, or like I don't know, like something David Fincher does, or something like that. Yeah.
Are you a Quentin Tarantino fan by any chance?
Yeah, of course,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like people either love him or hate him. I'm a big time.
No. I love him.
All right, I like that answer. See, I think the thing with that answer, you have to go to the past, because it's successful, it turned out well, and also you're probably getting other opportunities from that. You don't know what's going to happen in the future.
You don't know.
All right.
Don't know.
Wait, B,
question number 3, Greg. Are you ready with question number 3?
Chris wants to ask a question real quick.
I have a good question. So, would you rather get a role like a Star Wars caliber role, where the rest of your career is
typecasted?
You were blank in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or would you rather be a working actor for your whole career, but you're always like, oh, that's that guy from that thing, like.
I'm pretty confident that I'd like to be, that's that guy from that thing. Like, I don't know that I'm like in the character actor category. I'm not there in my career yet, but like, I see those character actors on TV, and I'm like, I want that guy's career. I want that dude that like, that works on, you can turn on the TV right now. He's in like probably 2 different TV shows. Nobody knows his fucking name.
That's it.
But he's good in everything.
He's always great. You're always like, that guy. I don't know what his name is, but he's fantastic
like Robert
in everything he does.
Yeah.
He's like
nobody
choice on 5 championship teams.
And like eventually.
Eventually,
What did you just say? Robert Horry? Is that what you said?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it.
big
and
stop
like,
baby.
Yeah, and if like out of that, you can get bigger roles because ultimately it's like people can see what you can do with a small part. And like, I hate saying small part, but like a small amount of text or, you can, and also it's like that guy works and like knows how to show up to set and not be a fucking asshole,
There's a lot to be said. If you're working, that means people like you.
Like nobody really knew who Ben Mendelsohn was.
Right.
Right. And he like kind of, I think one of the first things I noticed him in was he in was he in one of the Batman movies?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I can't put a face to that name.
Ben Mendelsohn was just in the new HBO show The Outsider.
Okay. I know who you're talking about.
He was in The Place Behind the Pines with Ryan Gosling.
Place Beyond the Pines was a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah, and he's in Bloodline. He's like the brother that is like the one that
all right. I know exactly who you're talking about. Okay. You know what?
I'm pretty sure he was in Dark Knight Rises and like has a really small part. And it's like, who is that guy? But he's like,
you put them all together and they make great careers. Like Steve Buscemi was like, he was a character actor for years.
Mm-hmm.
He was well known, but like
Buscemi's ever gotten a major lead actor role.
Yeah.
he's bigger, but I remember growing up
on TBS is fantastic though.
Which one?
His show Miracle Workers on TBS is
right.
Yeah.
I'm talking about years ago.
He's huge now,
all those movies he would play these small parts, and he was great, always memorable. And now he's finally, he's Steve Buscemi now. He's finally
he's iconic.
Yeah,
he's iconic.
All right, we ready for question 3?
I'm ready for question 3.
Okay.
Just so you know, we got about 10 minutes left, roughly.
Yep,
you're good. However many questions, you're good.
I'm pushing through here. All right, the Adult Babies podcast takes off, okay, in some strange unison.
I know it will. That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Chick writes a movie script.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to do this forever, Greg, and I never get around to do it.
So Chick writes a movie script, and somehow it gets sold. Greg, you read the script. You absolutely hate it. You don't love it, okay? You don't like the script. You think it's awful, but Chick gives you a call, and he says it would be an honor if you would play him in the movie. All right, so you have to shave your head, and you have to gain a few pounds. Give or take.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want the role. You don't want to really mess up your look. Do you do it, or do you not do it? Do you transform into Chick?
Do you play? Is it an autobiography? Is it an autobiography?
It's a terrible movie that somehow you sold. That it's about the Adult Babies podcast and you making your way in the podcast world. And now Greg reads the script. He doesn't love the script, but he's like, I kind of feel like I have to do it. And then you also have to shave your head and gain some weight for this role. So it might take you away from other roles in the future.
I say yes, because you can, first of all, I'm always up for a challenge.
Thank you. I appreciate this.
I'm always down. I'm always down to transform, especially if it means putting on a few pounds. I mean, then I get to eat whatever the fuck I want for a couple months of my life, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a break.
Right.
I got to take it. Yeah. It shows you range. And I think you can take any script and turn it into something good. If you can find, the heart of it. And my boy Tommy Kiss has heart.
Exactly.
He's got heart.
There'll be passion behind the script.
He's got passion. He's got heart. And I can relate to that. So, yeah,
all right.
I'll do it.
I like that.
I'll put on some Coke bottle glasses. I'll look good. I'll put on a Knicks jersey. I'll be good.
Yeah, exactly. It's not hard to find what I wear.
It's not far. It's not far from my own reality.
Yeah.
No, you're
That's
good.
awesome.
All right, good. I'm glad that you picked him.
I'm glad he said yes too.
Yeah. All right. Last question. All right. A genie comes out, in this make-believe world that we're living in, and he grants you 3 wishes, but you can only choose them on a certain. You can only. All right. So I'm not reading it the right way.
Jesus Christ.
It's okay. It's okay.
You can use these 3 wishes on your career or your personal life. Where do you throw your wishes? Which way do you throw your wishes?
Does it have to be all of the other?
Either career or personal life.
Ooh, that's tough.
It's just where do I throw my wishes?
Yeah, you can have 3 wishes for your career. Anything, listen, I wish this. I want that. I want this. Or no career. Oh, you still have a career, but you could, all your wishes go to your personal life.
Wow. All right, I'm gonna get deep. I would say my personal life.
Ooh.
Because look, this career that we've decided to pursue there's always the next job. That big job is never going to be as fulfilling as you think it might be. Yeah. The things in life are what make you an interesting person, and that is ultimately like fulfillment. Your friends, your family, your well-being, your health. That is ultimately, your who you are. Like your career isn't who you are. Yes, it might leave a legacy and like things like that, and you might be rich and famous and all that, but like from what I've read and heard and seen, I don't know that like fame is all it's cracked up to be.
It would be nice to not have your career define you, right? And you define,
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right. And like, I'm in a movie about a priest that turns into a dinosaur and fights crime, right? And like, I didn't get that, it's fucking fun, man. It's
Can I ask you how you felt when you first read that script? Did you love it right away?
So I saw the way this happened. I was working at that distribution company, the Seed and Spark, the crowdfunding site, and the guys who wrote the Velocipaster, they submitted for financing to this site, and someone like made an announcement at the company. And when I say made an announcement, we were in an office of like 5 people, and we all like huddled around the computer and were like, "Oh my God, this is a real thing! It's hilarious." And they had made like a Grindhouse trailer. Right? Like in the guy who made it while he was at School of Visual Arts in New York as a freshman film student. And then got out of film school and was like, I got to make this movie. We got to find money for it. And when I saw that project come up, I looked at the producer and I was like, I know the producer. I shot a short film with him in New York while I was still at my day job. And I was like, I was the lead in that short film. And I was like, I emailed him. I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious. Are you guys casting anything in this? I'll audition for anything. And they were like, yeah, we are casting the lead. The guy who did it in the trailer can't do it. And I was like, oh my God, send me the fucking audition sides. Yeah. And right when I saw the audition sides, I was like, oh, this is funny. This knows what it is. And like the only way this can really, I think the way this works is if you like play it dead ass serious with like a level of awareness,
And I agree with you totally on that, because that movie did know what it was. It didn't try to be something it wasn't, and it came, but it worked. I thought it was great.
Right. So yeah. So that's how I found out about it. And then when I read like the actual script, I was like, oh, this is like this is a real movie. Like this guy knows how to write, because the writer and director Brendan Steer is like beyond talented.
And that was the other young guy that introduced the show at the premiere, right?
Yeah, I don't know which night you were at, but he was there with me every
I'm pretty sure it was his. I'm pretty sure it was him, if I remember correctly. I mean,
it wasn't the dude with like the flipped cap. That was another dude who was like emceeing. Yeah.
Oh, all right. It might have been him I'm thinking of then. Actually.
Yeah. No, that's not him. No.
All right.
Wow, that's great. That's great. By the way,
but to answer your question, Brendan, I would focus on my personal life, because like at the end of the day, your career is just your career. If you don't have your health, your family, and your friends, like, then what's it all for?
I have to say, the way you put that, I had chills.
Oh.
Like you have a way. Not only are you a heartthrob, but you have a way with words. You have a real good career coming up your way, I think.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to owe it all to your podcast, to the Baby Podcast.
Well, listen, that's the other thing. If you ever win a big award, you have to say, well, I guess it all started with the Adult Baby.
The Adult Baby Podcast, yeah.
Exactly. And my last question is, for all those who maybe not follow you yet, you got to follow them on Instagram. I always enjoy your posts, but tell me about that cold shower thing. How was that?
Still going, man.
What is it
wait,
called?
not over?
Every day. I take a cold shower every day, every morning.
Oh, I thought it was like a 30-day challenge.
No. I did it for, I started on December 27th, and I've been taking a cold shower every day for at least 5 minutes, ice cold. Los Angeles, it's good for like blood flow and good for, your skin. And like, honestly, it's really just like
Hollywood. You've moved out of the Dale, man. You're Hollywood.
Dude. I know. I'm so.
Wow, look at you. All right.
It's Hollywood, man. I love it.
It's mostly like a dose of discomfort in the morning. It's like, if I can handle this, I can handle pretty much anything.
Does it wake you up?
It wakes you the fuck up. I mean, I love a good cup of coffee in the morning, but like it wakes you right up. And
you should spend an hour in a cold shower. See what it does for you.
Yeah, it's really refreshing. It's tougher when you like I'll go up. So I live in California. I can be in the mountains in 2 hours. Like beautiful, mountains covered in snow. It's when I go up there or like go up to, Mammoth Mountain, that's when the water really gets cold in the morning. And that's when it's like a true test to like wake up and actually be cold, like out of your comforter and then like get in an ice cold shower. But I've still done it. I've done it every day since December 27th. And I plan on keep going.
God bless you. I saw you doing that and I was just like, Jesus Christ. Fucking
yeah, I got to post an update to see. I don't know how many days. I was going to post an update at like 100 days, but I think I'm past that by now.
There was one day that you put it on. I'm like, I just see the cold. Like I feel the cold. And I was like,
there was one time I was in the mountains. I was like, I'm going to do it because I'm at like 30 days. It was fucking brutal. It was like ice cold. If you follow like
in the morning,
it's usually the first shower in the morning. Sometimes if I don't shower in the morning, I'll have to do it at night, but I've been committing to it every day. And it's really just like the first like 4 or 5 minutes of my shower, I'll run cold. I'll set a timer and then I'll flip it to hot and just finish my shower. But if you follow like Wim Hof, like the Wim Hof method, the dude that is like
his whole philosophy is nuts to me, man.
Just like breath work and like being in the cold and like ice plunges and stuff like that. Like I love stuff like that.
Dude, I listened to him he was on Joe Rogan's podcast like 3 years ago or something crazy like that. And I started doing his breathing exercises and I still try to do them like every morning where it's like you breathe in for a few seconds, hold it, and then breathe out.
Hold it, do like the box breathing,
I'm definitely not doing the cold showers things, but that's awesome that you
I sometimes on a hot summer day, I'll get into a cold pool too fast, and I feel like I'm going to go into cardiac arrest.
Oh, so I give you, and you could, so be careful. Yeah. But like,
Could you really?
I got to try that.
I don't trust my heart.
Yeah. Maybe me and Stick take a back seat.
Well, Greg, thank you for finally coming on.
Oh, thank you guys so much for having me.
Man, thanks for coming on. That was awesome.
Is there anything you want to promote or plug? Is there anything coming up? Is there a Velocipaster 2 coming out?
The Velocipaster 2 is written. We're currently seeking financing. It's written. Yeah, sequel's going to be coming. We're really gunning for a trilogy because it all kind of comes together. So we're seeking financing for that right now. Just working on pitch decks for that. And then the only thing I want to plug is just go watch the Velocipaster. You can buy it on Blu-ray and DVD. You can and watch it on Amazon Prime Video or on Tubi. It's very easy to find. Or you can go to our website, thevelocipaster.com. We've got T-shirts and stuff for sale. Go check us out and just support us because that's the only way people have seen this movie. We don't have like marketing budget. We're with a small distribution company that's done a great job of getting it out. But the only reason people have heard about it is from, us and you guys talking about it on podcasts, like showing it to your friends and just like sharing it with people that you are like, you'll laugh. Like you'll
Well, I
laugh.
forced my parents to watch it. You know, they love you anyway, so I mean, it wasn't
Good.
that hard.
I'm sure it was right up your mom and dad's alley.
Yeah,
I
you know
see,
what? But they loved it. They, you know, they didn't understand it per se, but you know, again,
I love it.
you know, they love you.
But again,
I
they
love
don't
it.
understand you per se. So
They don't understand me either. You know, at least he's doing
There you
something.
go. You either get it or you don't.
And my other role, you were in Law and Order too. You played a cop, right? That scene, I love that.
I was on
The Law and Order
I was on Blue Bloods. I was on Blue Bloods.
Blue Blood.
Okay, Blue Blood.
Someday I'll be on Law and Order. I'll cut my acting teeth on Law and Order someday.
One of the
'Cause that's like
Was one of the Wahlbergs on Blue Bloods?
yeah, Donnie
Yeah,
is.
Ben,
Donnie
yeah.
is.
Donnie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you. Be safe out there in LA.
Thanks, guys. You too.
Thank you for coming on. Everybody watch the Velocipaster. If you made it this far, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
Sweet.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank
Greg,
you.
always a pleasure, buddy. I'll talk
All
to you
right.
soon.
Yeah, Greg, that was awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, of course, man. Anytime, guys. Yeah.